Today's news highlights 20250805. Date August 5, 2025. Republic of China August 5, 114. Time cutoff, 1500 hours on the same day. News focus Wu Junli, the wife of Li Yuanzhe, former president of Academia Sinica, died of pancreatic cancer on July 12 at the age of 90. She has a gentle personality and is a strong backing for Li Yuanzhe's life. The news shocked the society and once again aroused attention to pancreatic cancer, the king of cancer. This cancer is mostly advanced, with a 5-year survival rate of less than 5%. Experts recommend eating a high-fiber diet, eating more fruits and vegetables, avoiding processed red meat, quitting smoking and alcohol, exercising regularly, and controlling weight to reduce risk and promote prevention. News focus in response to the claim that overnight dishes cause cancer, Dr. Yan Yun, an authority on cancer, said that there is no scientific evidence to support this view, which is really overly worrying. The key is whether the food is stored properly and the temperature control of the refrigerator is appropriate, not the overnight itself. If properly refrigerated, kept below 4 degrees Celsius and heated well before consumption, overnight dishes do not pose a health risk and are not directly associated with cancer. News focus Although non-stick pans are convenient, if they are burnt or have stubborn dirt, the coating must still be carefully protected when cleaning. It is recommended not to flush cold water at high temperatures. You can pour warm water to boil and let it rest, then wash it with a soft sponge. Avoid using iron brushes or rough cloth to prevent scratching the coating. Non-stick pans also need to be opened and regularly maintained. Apply thin oil before the first use. Use wooden or silicone utensils daily, and avoid high-temperature dry burning and acidic foods to extend the life of the pan and maintain the non-stick effect. News focus National Taiwan University Hospital completed the handover of the president on August 1, and the 16th president, Wu Mingxian, was transferred to the dean of the National Taiwan University School of Medicine, and was replaced by Yu Zongren, the former president of the Hsinchu branch and an expert in thoracic intensive care. Born into a medical family, Professor Yu has a complete experience and is highly recognized for his leadership skills and high EQ. He has promoted the upgrading of the Hsinchu branch to a medical center, and has made outstanding contributions to health insurance and lung cancer treatment. His gentle and upright style is widely respected by his peers and is regarded as an important helmsman leading NTU Hospital to a new milestone. News focus National Treasure Tea and Kombucha have their own health benefits and are suitable for drinking with different physiques. National Treasure Tea is caffeine-free, which can lower bad cholesterol, stabilize blood sugar, and potentially protect the cardiovascular and nervous systems, making it suitable for people who have poor sleep or are sensitive to caffeine. Kombucha contains probiotics and polyphenols, which help improve intestinal flora, promote digestion, and may also be beneficial to the liver and metabolism. However, due to the sugar and trace amounts of alcohol, pregnant women, young children, and people with weakened immune systems should drink with caution. Functional medicine physician Liu Boren reminded that moderate and adaptive drinking is the key to maintaining health. News focus as of July 26, there were nearly 7,000 cases of Qigong disease in Guangdong, China, with the most serious cases in Foshan City, and there have been cases imported into Hong Kong. Qigong disease is transmitted by vector mosquitoes, with symptoms similar to dengue fever, including high fever and severe joint pain, and some patients may have long-term pain. Taiwan has 15 cases of overseas immigration this year, a new high in recent years. Experts say climate change and public health degradation are fueling the epidemic, and the CDC will evaluate whether to raise travel warnings. There is no specific medicine for Qigong's disease. Prevention is more important than treatment, and anti-mosquito measures and environmental cleaning should be strengthened. News focus in recent years, China has become the largest buyer of Vietnamese durian through durian diplomacy to win over Southeast Asia. However, since this year, China has suddenly changed its policy, strengthened quarantine standards, and returned or destroyed a large number of Vietnamese durians on the grounds of heavy metals and chemical substances, resulting in a sharp drop of 45% in exports in the first half of the year. This move is seen as a new example of the CCP's trade model of arbitrage and killing, highlighting the risk of relying on a single market. Vietnamese media have called for expanding the Japanese, South Korean and European markets to reduce dependence on China and political and economic pressure. News focus The U.S. Treasury Department recently imposed sanctions on 4 companies in China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, accusing it of assisting Iranian drone manufacturer HESA in purchasing technology and equipment, violating U.S. sanctions against Iran. The companies involved include Taiwan's Longma Psyche and Qiaomao Electromechanical, China's Changzhou Qiaomao and Hong Kong's Clifton Trading. The United States said that these companies provided military precision equipment through Iran's Control Afzar in an attempt to circumvent export controls. The assets of sanctioned entities in the United States will be frozen, and Americans will be prohibited from trading with them to combat Iran's offensive weapons capabilities. News focus Meta's second quarter earnings report was impressive, with revenue of $47.5 billion and net profit of $18.3 billion, exceeding market expectations. CEO Zuckerberg emphasized that in the future, wearable devices will replace mobile phones as a new generation of computing platforms to create personal superintelligence. Meta has launched smart glasses, plans to add display functions, enhance AI interaction, and announced that a revolution in AI and hardware integration is coming. Zuckerberg warned that not wearing AI glasses will face cognitive disadvantages and increase investment in AI teams to challenge the digital ecology of Apple and other tech giants. News Focus American physician Cecil warns that 3 common items in the bedroom may be harmful to health and should be replaced regularly. First of all, old pillows are prone to the accumulation of dust mites, allergens, and bacteria, which may cause skin infections and sleep disorders. Old mattresses lose support, affect sleep quality and may cause back pain. Third, synthetic air fresheners contain phthalates and volatile organic compounds, which can cause asthma, headaches, skin reactions, and even increase the risk of cancer when exposed to them for a long time. It is recommended to switch to natural products and change bedding regularly to maintain health. News Focus Taiwan's drone industry is growing rapidly under the global trend of decentralization, with exports increasing by 749% year-on-year in the first half of 2025, becoming an important supply chain partner in Europe and the United States. The Ministry of National Defense will purchase nearly 49,000 military drones with a total budget of about 50 billion yuan to promote the explosion of the industry. Major manufacturers are actively deploying in the US and European markets, and their stock prices are performing well. However, the training and logistics system of the Taiwan military still needs to be strengthened, and it is necessary to simultaneously improve the operation and maintenance capabilities to ensure the actual combat effectiveness of UAVs. News Focus Kaohsiung has hosted a number of international superstar concerts, such as Blackpink and Coldplay, driving a 48% growth in the accommodation industry, a 10% growth in the catering industry, and a 76% surge in accommodation spending for foreign tourists from 2023 to 2024. According to the big data of MasterCard and United Credit Card Center, the concert attracted a large number of fans from other counties and cities and international fans, promoting the heating of the regional economy, especially in Zhouying district and surrounding accommodation and catering consumption. Compared with Taipei and Bangkok, where tourism conditions are mature, Kaohsiung's concert economic benefits are more significant, becoming an important driving force for the transformation of local industries and tourism, and helping to turn the city's economic map around. News Focus Taiwan stocks have been fluctuating recently, closing down 0.2% on the 4th, but optical stocks bucked the trend and strengthened, with Yagwang, 3019, lighting up the daily limit and Yujigwang, 3406, rising more than 2%. Yagwang had strong growth momentum due to the use of digital cameras, in-vehicle lenses, and Tesla's driverless taxi robotaxi optical modules. Yujigwang performed well due to the new iPhone, and although the exchange rate appreciation affected gross profit, foreign investors still gave it an outperform the market rating. Optical stocks have become the focus of the market with innovative products and solid fundamentals. News Focus Citigroup has adjusted its bullish view on gold due to US tariffs pushing up inflation and economic deterioration, predicting that the price of gold will rise to $3,300 to $3,600 per pound in the next 3 months. Citi had previously expected the price of gold to be below $3,000, but the tariffs were higher than expected, adding to the demand for safe haven in the market, prompting the price to rebound. Although gold prices hit a new high in April this year, the recent trend has consolidated. Citigroup, along with Goldman Sachs and Fidelity, are all bullish on short-term gold prices, but are cautious about 2026, believing that uncertainty about trade policy and stimulus measures will decrease. News Focus Kaohsiung will host a number of international superstar concerts from 2023 to 2024, driving the accommodation industry to grow by 48%, the catering industry to grow by 10%, and the accommodation expenditure of foreign tourists to increase by 76%. MasterCard and United Credit Card Center found through big data analysis that concerts attracted a large number of fans from other counties and cities and international countries, promoting the heating of the regional economy, especially Zhouying and surrounding areas. Compared with the mature tourism cities of Taipei and Bangkok, Kaohsiung's concert economic benefits are more prominent, becoming an important engine for promoting the transformation of local industries and tourism. News Focus last week, Taiwan was announced by the United States to impose a 20% reciprocal tariff, causing market shocks. According to data from the Taiwan Stock Exchange on the 4th, securities firms declared a default transaction amount of about 68.58 million yuan in the centralized market, and there was still nearly 1.8 million yuan in default after deducting offsets. Among them, the default delivery amount of the military stock Lihu, 8,033, was as high as 58.76 million yuan, becoming the first default case of a listed company in 2025, and the declared securities firm was Yuanta Songjiang. Coupled with the OTC market, there have been 7 default delivery cases this year. News Focus US stock earnings reports have been eye-catching, with Amazon emphasizing the continued increase in investment in data centers, chips, and power to actively seize generative AI business opportunities. Morgan Stanley is optimistic about Amazon's promotion of AWS growth, and is optimistic that Taiwanese factories such as Wyvan, Jingxiangdian, Quanta, and Wistron will benefit from AI server demand, giving it an outperform rating. Although printed circuit board manufacturer Xingsing remained neutral, China Southern Electric was rated as inferior to the market due to overcapacity, and the overall Amazon supply chain showed strong growth momentum and continued to attract market attention. News focus. In response to the soaring AI computing power and promoting the power revolution, NVIDIA plans to increase the output voltage of AI server chips from 54V to 800V to support the operation of megawatt-level AI data centers. The official announcement of 18 partners, Taiwan's Delta and Liteon are among them, becoming the first batch of beneficiaries. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang is optimistic about the explosion of demand for AI infrastructure, which will drive the transformation of global data center power systems, and is expected to support more than 1 MW racks from 2027. This revolution covers three major areas: power components, power supplies, and power systems, and Taiwanese factories will take Huida's long train with power supplies as the main focus. News focus. Honhai Group announced the sale of its plant and land in Ohio, USA, with a total transaction amount of about $375 million and a disposal profit of more than $170 million. This move is seen as revitalizing the assets of the original F plant and focusing on the modular layout of AI data centers and servers, in conjunction with the strategic alliance with TICO, to meet the strong demand for AI in the United States. Honhai will continue to produce AI servers in Houston, Texas, and deepen the development of AI business in North America. The group emphasizes the continuous deployment of cloud networks and smart electronic products in multiple states in the United States, hoping to quickly respond to market and customer needs. News focus. Nanyang Industrial, a subsidiary of Sanyang, took the lead in responding to the uncertainty of U.S. car tariffs, announcing a price reduction of 300,000 yuan, or about 20%, for Hyundai's specific electric vehicle models, which was cleared within a limited time, becoming the first electric vehicle brand in China to publicly reduce prices significantly. This move is in response to the global tariff war and market expectations that tariffs on imports of American cars to Taiwan may be reduced to zero, prompting consumers to wait and see, and the auto market is cold. Nanyang took this opportunity to lock in costs and provide one-stop electric vehicle services to seize market opportunities. Luxury brands have also privately lowered prices to clear inventory in response to competition, and the electric vehicle market will set off a new wave of price wars. News focus. The Taipei National Taxation Bureau of the Ministry of Finance reminds that parents who change the policy applicant to their children are regarded as free gifts, and must declare and pay gift tax in accordance with the law, otherwise they will pay the tax and be fined. Such changes are based on the policy value reserve as the gift limit, and exceeding the tax exemption amount needs to be declared. If the policyholder dies within 2 years after the change and the applicant is an heir or spouse, the policy value will be included in estate taxation. The IRS encourages those who have not yet filed to take the initiative to make up the filing, and they can be exempted from penalties but must pay interest in accordance with the law. News focus. Taiwan actively invested in the Alaska Natural Gas Program in the United States to show sincerity in cooperation, but was offered a high tariff of 20% by the United States, and the tariff rate was higher than that of Japan and South Korea, causing industrial panic. Taiwan-US trade negotiations have reached an impasse, and Taiwan's commitment to purchase more U.S. agricultural products and military equipment is still difficult to avoid tariff pressure. The United States demanded that Taiwan further open up the beef, pork, and automobile markets, and Taiwan's internal pressure and voter dissatisfaction intensified. Lai Ching-te emphasized that tariffs are temporary and will continue to strive for more favorable conditions, and it is necessary to build internal consensus to turn passivity into initiative to safeguard Taiwan's economic and geopolitical interests. News focus. In order to strive for a 15% tariff, South Korea has promised to purchase $100 billion in energy and $350 billion in investment from the United States, and despite facing carbon emission pressure and opposition from the island, it has successfully exchanged for a lower tariff rate than Taiwan, highlighting the fierce competition between Taiwan and South Korea. Compared with Japan and the European Union, South Korea has invested less but won the same conditions, showing efficient negotiation power. If Taiwan wants to strive for more preferential treatment, it will test the negotiation wisdom and political communication skills of the Lai Ching-te government. News focus. More and more parents are choosing to let their children go vegetarian in response to climate change and sustainability, but whether a vegetarian diet is suitable for children is still controversial. Studies have shown that vegetarian children have a healthier cardiovascular system, but may be deficient in key nutrients such as vitamin B12 and omega-3, and are at higher risk of being underweight or slightly shorter. Experts suggest that children should be vegetarian by a professional nutritionist with supplements and avoid processed vegetarian diets, in order to balance growth and health, and practice dietary choices that are good for the planet and children. News focus. Taipei's U-bike insurance system caused public outrage, and an office worker was injured while riding a bicycle but could not apply for a claim because he was not hospitalized, criticizing the insurance as a waste of money. In the past 3 years, only 16.7% of more than 1,000 accidents have been compensated, most of which are fractures or serious injuries. Councillors approved the city government for subsidizing more than 700 million yuan but did not require the industry to improve protection, and there was no way to claim compensation for children who broke their teeth. Although the Transportation Bureau promised to discuss expanding claims, property insurance companies are worried that the cost is too high and the progress of reform is limited. Experts suggest introducing a deductible designed to balance protection and risk control. News Focus: US President Donald Trump offered two shocking conditions for Taiwan's tariff negotiations, requiring TSMC to take a 49% stake in Intel and invest an additional $400 billion in exchange for reducing tariffs from 20% to 15%. Trump pointed the finger at Taiwan's Sacred Mountain of National Protection TSMC, intending to use it to save Intel, the illegitimate son of the US empire, which has been losing money. Although TSMC has invested nearly 5 trillion yuan to set up factories in the United States, in the face of such high-risk and high-fund negotiation chips, the outside world is worried that it will crowd out local investment, which also brings great challenges to its long-term development and global strategic layout. News Focus: Chen Tianren revealed that he was sexually harassed by fitness coach Zhang Zheng, but later suffered from cyberbullying, which led to aggravated PTSD, emotional breakdown, and severe depression, and needed to be taken care of by his mother. She didn't understand why she was criticized for exposing sexual harassment, and bluntly said that it was like forcing the victim to a dead end. Zhang Zheng denied the accusations, calling them voluntary acts on both sides. Chen has gone to the police station to report the case, and is currently relying on fitness to support his life with his Japanese boyfriend and daughter, and the agent has not yet responded to the follow-up progress. News Focus: cheerleading goddess Lin Xiang announced the four-nose policy, which sparked heated discussions, including not blocking the line when going to work, not taking photos with no makeup, etc., which caused some netizens to be dissatisfied and criticized her big name. Lin Xiang immediately publicly choked on the sour people's message to counterattack "I'm very angry," which won the support of many fans. However, because she exposed the other party's account and avatar, she was also questioned about violating the personal information law and the crime of intimidation, and has not yet responded. News Focus: Xiang Jiejia, who has faded out of the entertainment industry for many years, recently became the focus again because she attended public welfare activities with Jade girl singer Zhou Zihan. Zhou Zihan shared a photo of the two. Xiang Jiejia looked gentle, had an outstanding temperament, and amazed netizens with a frozen age appearance, and praised it hasn't changed at all. In recent years, Xiang Jiejia has focused on her family and supported her daughter Li Xian to develop her acting career, and although she has retreated behind the scenes, her style is still the same as before. News Focus: the U.S. Department of State is considering charging up to $15,000 in security deposits for business and tourist visa applicants in some countries to prevent visa overdue and reduce government risks. The one-year pilot program is suitable for countries with high risk of overdue and weak document review and naturalization by investment. News Focus: YouTuber CAIAGA recently released the latest progress of Laura incident, pointing out that former employee Laura wanted to return to the company to develop the case to pay off debts after defrauding 8 figures, which made him call it really creative. Due to the difficulty of recovering the money in civil cases, CAIAGA proposed the final plan: let her serve as a volunteer, engage in environmental protection work such as beach cleanup, pay off 10,000 yuan a day, accumulate debt repayment for a long time, and emphasize that her itinerary will be made public as supervision. News Focus: US vehicle tariffs on Taiwan have not yet been finalized, and market rumors may drop to zero, triggering a wave of price cuts for electric vehicles. Sanyang's Nanyang Industry took the lead in announcing that since August, the cash of Hyundai's designated electric models has dropped by 300,000 yuan, a decrease of nearly 20%, becoming the first public price reduction of electric vehicles in China. This move may trigger follow-up from luxury brands such as Double B, Porsche, Yulon, Hitai, etc., prompting the auto market to accelerate inventory clearance. Affected by the expected reduction of tariffs and excise taxes, the auto market has been sluggish for 3 consecutive months, and the number of listings in the first 7 months of this year has decreased by about 15.7% compared with last year. The industry is worried that if the policy is unclear, it may be difficult for the auto market to recover, and some car dealers even require buyers to sign an affidavit to prevent price reduction disputes. News Focus: in response to the significant increase in AI computing power, NVIDIA launched the Power Revolution, increasing the output voltage of AI server chips from 540V to 800V, promoting the transformation of data centers to megawatt level, MW, high voltage direct current, HVDC, and is expected to support IT racks of more than 1 MW in 2027. NVIDIA announced a list of 18 partners, and Taiwan's major power supply manufacturers Delta and Lite-On Technology were included in the list to participate in the field of power supplies and become the first wave of beneficiaries. This move will boost the upgrade of AI infrastructure to meet future explosive power demand and establish a leading position in NVIDIA and the supply chain. News Focus: the United States announced a 20% tariff on Taiwanese products, and Economic Minister Guo Zhihui emphasized that the Taiwan authorities attach importance to the opinions of the industry, continue to discuss countermeasures with the industry, and evaluate more tariff concessions and investment opportunities. Guo Zhihui went to Kaohsiung to preside over the symposium to promote the upgrading of traditional industries and international competitiveness, and provided diversified assistance for exchange rate appreciation. In response to rumors that Taiwan needs to invest heavily in the United States, the Ministry of Economic Affairs clarified that it is only referring to the scale of investment in other countries and has no specific commitments, and continues to negotiate with the United States to seek preferential tariffs. News Focus. The Parent-Child Education Innovation Center launched the AI Literacy Popularization Program to enhance students' AI capabilities in collaboration with TSMC and Light-On to enhance students' AI capabilities. The survey found that more than half of teachers and students are confident in using AI, but more than 70% have limited understanding of how AI works. Among the AI tools commonly used by students, Chinese products Xiaoai and DeepSeek appeared, raising concerns about information security and ideology. Experts suggest that the government should promote relevant courses and develop sovereign AI to enhance students' judgment and international competitiveness. News Focus. After days of heavy rain in Kaohsiung, a large number of green-pleated mushrooms appeared in urban parks and separation islands, resembling large shiitake mushrooms, attracting people to take photos and watch, but the Public Works Bureau reminded that these mushrooms are poisonous and may cause acute gastroenteritis, dehydration, and even coma if ingested. In the early hours of the morning, the police have begun to remove mushrooms to avoid danger. The Ministry of Health and Welfare pointed out that green-pleated mushrooms are easily confused with edible mushrooms, characterized by the folds turning from white to yellow-green, and turning brown when damaged, and poisoning symptoms such as vomiting and abdominal pain may occur within 1 to 3 hours after accidental ingestion, and the public is urged not to eat them. News Focus. At the end of July, the 24-year-old female student of Chongqing Medical University Yu Guobigo was said by netizens to look like Big S in his youth because of his retrospective travel photos in Qinghai Chaka Salt Lake, and the photos attracted 28,000 followers within 11 days. She denied deliberate imitation or hype, emphasized that the photo was taken from the original mobile phone, and posted her student ID card to prove the authenticity. Netizens have different opinions, some praise its resemblance, some think it has a different temperament, and some question that there is a business plan behind its rapid popularity, but it has not been confirmed. News Focus. The United States announced that tariffs on Taiwan would be raised to 20%, which attracted the attention of the industry. Minister of Economic Affairs Guo Zhihui went south to Kaohsiung to hold a discussion with representatives of the industry, emphasizing that the Taiwan authorities will actively negotiate with the United States, provide financial support, promote industrial upgrading and expand international channels to help industry operators cope with challenges. He also mentioned that Taiwan's investment in the United States may reach $400 billion if it refers to the experience of other countries, but stressed that there are no specific commitments. The government will continue to strive for tariff incentives and supply chain cooperation to stabilize industrial development. News Focus. National husband Su Guanggan will officially retire from the army on August 20, ending his substitute service career, and plans to attend a simple media joint interview. After being discharged from the army, he will devote himself to the promotion of the new film His Year She Day, which will be released in Asia on October 3. In addition, he will shoot director Chang Vihao's new series at the end of the year, and have the opportunity to participate in Shang-Chi 2. News Focus. David Roach, lead singer of the American heavy metal rock band Junkyard, passed away peacefully on August 2 at the age of 59. He has been battling aggressive squamous cell carcinoma of the head and neck for many years, and his condition has been stable, and he married Jennifer, whom he has been dating for many years, in July, and he still smiles at the wedding. The orchestra said that he passed away in the arms of his wife to mourn his talent and perseverance. His wife also thanked him for always being optimistic in the face of the disease and never giving up hope. News Focus. South Korea's powerful actor Song Young-kyu was found dead in the car on August 4 at the age of 55, suspected of being depressed and dead-end due to a sharp decline in his image after drunk driving, a sharp decrease in workload and heavy family pressure. He left his wife and 2 daughters, and his family chose his handsome photos in 2017 as posthumous photos, and the funeral ceremony was scheduled to be held on the morning of the 6th, and he is expected to be buried in Zion Bay Mountain Memorial Park. News Focus. Taiwanese veteran actress Yao Xiaozhong died of illness in Washington, USA, at the age of 87. At the beginning of this year, she returned to Taiwan to participate in the class reunion held by Chen Shifeng, but she did not expect to be the last one. Yao Xiaozhong has been in the industry since 1967, spanning film and television and stage plays, and originally planned to return to Taiwan to settle down in his later years, but died of illness on July 18, and the memorial service was held on August 3, and the entertainment industry was deeply reluctant. News Focus. Artist Nono, Chen Xuanyu, was accused of sexually assaulting and indecent assault on at least 25 women, 2 of which were reconsidered, and the Shillin District Prosecutor's Office today, 5th, prosecuted them on charges of forced sexual intercourse and indecency. The prosecution pointed out that Nono took advantage of his status as an artist and position to forcibly kiss, touch and even sexually assault the victim, without remorse afterwards, causing serious physical and mental trauma to the victim, and recommended that the court impose a heavy sentence. News Focus: the man had invested millions to help her realize her dream of becoming a singer, but did not appear at her birthday concert in July, and the community interaction between the two sides also cooled down significantly. KZ admitted that there is nothing left and shared a video of egg freezing, lamenting that life is unpredictable and suspected of returning to singleness. In this regard, she did not respond positively to her relationship situation. News Focus: Zhao Lucy accused the agency Galaxy Cool Entertainment of being treated inhumanely, not only misappropriating her studio funds to compensate the crew, but also claiming that she was imprisoned in a hotel to exorcise demons during her illness, resulting in severe physical and mental trauma. Although her contract has been renewed until 2030, she did not hesitate to face liquidated damages of up to NT $1.65 billion, bluntly saying "I won't do it," and admitted that she suffered from severe depression and would rather put down everything to speak up for herself. News Focus: 14 years after the Fukushima nuclear disaster, Japan decided to restart its nuclear energy policy in response to rising natural gas prices and a surge in electricity consumption in data centers. As of 2025, 14 nuclear reactors have been restarted, and it is planned to fully complete the restart by 2030, and a safer new generation of reactors will be built in the future. Japan's amendment to the law cancelled the goal of reducing nuclear energy and instead emphasized the maximum use of decarbonized electricity, striving to increase the proportion of nuclear energy to 20% by 2040, triggering heated discussions on safety and trust in society. News Focus: China's electric vehicle giant BYD is expected to take the stage at the end of the year, and the general agent Swire Motors plans to import Denza brand models from BYD's Thailand factory. Swire plans to introduce the high-end D9 and N8 models in the Hi-As tram and emphasize that the Denza is an international brand and not made in China. News Focus: in response to the challenges posed by the new global tariff structure, Singapore has set up 5 high-level committees to review its national economic strategy and formulate a long-term development blueprint. Deputy Premier Nan Jiniong said that the review focused on enhancing global competitiveness, technological innovation, innovation ecology, human capital and corporate labor transformation. The committee is composed of young government officials and representatives of enterprises and trade unions, and is expected to bring new perspectives and innovative proposals. The move aims to ensure that Singapore continues to gain an advantage in the changing global economic environment, and the review report is expected to be completed in the middle of next year. News Focus: the United States announced the implementation of a 20% temporary tax rate on Taiwan, which is expected to take effect on the 7th. After Zhang Lijun, deputy head of the administrative agency, returned to Taiwan, and the United States have not yet finalized the next negotiation time, and may not be able to complete the negotiations before the tax rate goes on the road. China is striving to include supply chain cooperation in Article 232 in negotiations, hoping to strive for preferential treatment and reduce the impact of semiconductor and information and communication exports. Trump will decide whether to impose taxes after the United States completes the Section 232 investigation, and the timeline has not yet been determined, and Taiwan has submitted a letter of opinion and is actively negotiating. News Focus: Nikkei Asia reported that TSMC was suspected of leaking 2nm technology, and a number of former employees were suspected of illegally obtaining key process information during their tenure and have been dismissed. TSMC said it found unauthorized behavior during routine monitoring and has taken penalties and initiated legal proceedings. Since 2nm is the world's most advanced process, the incident involves trade secrets and national security concerns, and the prosecution is investigating the scope and purpose of the leak. If it is a corporate espionage, it may violate the National Security Act. TSMC expects to mass-produce 2nm chips by the end of this year, and only a few companies such as Samsung and Intel can match the technical competition. News Focus: the contract dispute between mainland actress Zhao Lucy and the agency Galaxy Cool Entertainment heated up. After accusing her of misappropriation of funds and threats, she broke the news in a live broadcast on the 4th that she was suddenly paralyzed during the filming of Lovers in December 2024, and the company did not send her to the hospital, locked the hotel and asked the master to exorcise the demon, saying that she was possessed by evil or bewitched. Her parents cried bitterly when they saw this. She was helpless and asked for help, and her condition was delayed until December 27 before she was sent to the hospital, and later confirmed that she suffered from severe depression and anxiety, and criticized the company for replacing medical treatment with superstition, which seriously harmed her body and mind. News Focus: former U.S. State Department senior advisor Whedon wrote an article on the 4th criticizing Taiwan for being too close to the Biden administration, alienating the Republican Party and Trump, and questioning the performance of former U.S. Representative Xiao Maiken during his tenure. He revealed that our representative office in the United States has hired pro-Trump Ballard partners for $60,000 a month since May to conduct strategic lobbying, but believes that this move may be counterproductive. Whedon pointed out that the long-term leaning to the left has made the new right indifferent to Taiwan, and now it is only funding Trump-friendly groups, and that the company may no longer be popular with the Trump camp. News Focus Korean media broke the news on the 5th that Korean star Jang Yo-sheng has registered his marriage with his girlfriend outside the circle in a low-key manner, and only a few relatives and friends know about the news. The brokerage company did not confirm on the grounds of personal affairs and called on the outside world not to speculate too much. Relevant people revealed that the two experienced joys and sorrows together, and hoped that the outside world would bless them. Jang Yo-sheng was revealed to have a child out of wedlock with female model Wen Jiafei in November last year, and then admitted and broke out a cheating scandal, and his image was frustrated, and he publicly apologized on the Qinglong podium and promised to take responsibility for his father. News Focus liver cancer is known as the silent killer, but the body often sends warning signs. The 4 major signs include 1. Jaundice, whites of the eyes, yellowing of the skin and dark brown urine. 2. Spider nevus and liver palm, red blood vessels dilate on the chest, neck, and face, and abnormal flushing of the palms. 3. Ascites and edema, abdominal distension, obvious foot indentations, short-term weight gain. 4. Systemic symptoms, persistent fatigue, decreased appetite, short-term weight loss, low-grade fever, and night sweats. High-risk groups such as B hepatitis C carriers or long-term alcoholics should be checked regularly even if they are asymptomatic for early treatment. News Focus David Roach, lead singer of the American heavy metal band Junkyard, died of aggressive squamous cell carcinoma of the head and neck on August 2 at the age of 59. Roach co-founded the orchestra in 1987 and became popular with a number of masterpieces, but after a hiatus, it resumed in 2000 and released an album in 2017 after a 20-year hiatus. He and his longtime girlfriend Jennifer got married during illness, but they were separated forever after only 2 weeks together. The orchestra praised him as a talented musician and a loving father, husband, and brother, and his wife thanked him for his humor and perseverance in the midst of his difficult battle against the disease. News Focus nutritionist reminds 4080% cancer patients will be malnourished during treatment, which may affect immunity, efficacy, and survival. Cancer Friend Diet. The 3 principles are: 1. Sufficient calories, 25-35 kcal per kilogram of body weight, eat small and frequent meals, choose high nutrient density foods and use oil in moderation. 2. Sufficient high-quality protein, 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight, including beans, eggs, dairy products, fish, etc. 3. A variety of fruits and vegetables to supplement antioxidant power, 3-5 servings of vegetables and 2-4 servings of fruits per day. Also available 2 highly nutritious snacks, apple-flavored soy milk nut drink and pumpkin chicken paste soup, help cancer patients replenish energy and improve physical strength. News Focus. The Central Meteorological Administration announced today, 5th, that the heavy rain affected by the southwest airflow in the central and southern regions has slowed down in recent days, and Yunlin, Qi City, Qi County, Tainan, Kaohsiung, Pingtung, and Penghu have lifted the heavy rain warning, but Penghu may still experience local heavy rain. The Meteorological Administration reminds that heavy rainfall often causes landslides, mudslides, and flooding, and low-lying areas and surrounding rivers must be vigilant. In addition to typhoons and rainy seasons, small and medium-scale convection and topographic effects such as thunderstorms and squall lines in the afternoon may also cause localized heavy rainfall, bringing disaster risks such as flash floods and rockfalls. News Focus. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson attended the Key-to-Gallon Forum, 2025 Indo-Pacific Security Dialogue on the 5th and delivered a speech on the same stage as President Lai Ching-te and other dignitaries. He stressed that the Taiwanese people cherish freedom and will not succumb to China's military threats, criticizing Beijing for unilaterally changing the status quo, sending ships and aircraft to invade and threatening to destroy Taiwan's democracy by force by 2027. Johnson said the world expects Taiwan to survive confrontation, and quoted Mueller's famous quote to describe Taiwan as people who love their freedom. The forum gathered dignitaries and scholars from many countries, and Lai Ching-te reiterated that he would cooperate with like-minded countries to maintain regional peace. News Focus. Typhoon Dennis hit Tainan hard, and the disaster was severe. Fans statistics on disaster investigation attendance. DPP legislator Lin Zhengxian appeared for 13 days, Kuomintang Xialongja only 2 days. Lin Jin, 5th, criticized Xie for not providing disaster relief. Don't just spit political saliva, and choked. You are not a person, you are not in Tainan. Lin emphasized that DPP legislators went to the disaster area almost every day to assist in restoration and negotiation of the water control budget, and countered the media and internet forces attacking his volunteer team's banners. News Focus. The United States announced on August 1 that temporary tariffs on Taiwan would be reduced to 20%, but U.S. Trade Representative Greer said that the tariff rate was roughly set, and it was reported that Trump wanted TSMC to increase investment before he was willing to cut the tax rate. Deputy Foreign Minister Chen Mingke stressed that negotiations are still ongoing, and the Taiwan team will strive for better conditions. The council pointed out that the tax rate reduction is based on an executive order signed by Trump, but the relevant trade and security agreements have not yet been completed and negotiations are still ongoing. Lai King did not respond to rumors of increased investment when asked by the media at the Akita Grand Forum. News focus: a man surnamed Wang in Keelung suffered from AIDS and syphilis, but concealed his condition and altered the test report, falsely claiming that he was negative and deceived Xiao Xiang, a high school teacher, in his relationship. The two had frequent condomless sex for half a year, causing Xiao Xiang to be infected with syphilis. Afterwards, Xiao Xiang filed a lawsuit, and Wang Nan was sentenced to 6 years in prison and had to pay 2.03 million yuan in compensation. The court found that he not only deceived the woman, but also concealed his illness from the medical staff, showing no remorse. The whole case was recently decided, and Wang Nan's application for commutation and compensation was rejected. News focus: Chinese internet celebrity Wen Lei came to Taiwan on the road, Wen Yai Wang, in the name of business, but did not engage in scheduled activities, but instead filmed a video of walking around the island in the community, and was arrested and detained by the National Immigration Agency. The Pingtung District Prosecutor's Office found that the e-commerce company behind it was suspected of assisting in violating the law, and the person in charge was detained and prohibited from seeing him, which was involved in violating a number of laws. According to the National Immigration Agency, in the first half of 2025, the number of Chinese applying for business exchanges to Taiwan will reach 36,000, and the number of professional exchanges will be 6,709, but China is currently not open to free travel, causing some netizens to question that some people are illegally staying in Taiwan under the pretense of national security. News focus: Ray, a well-known Taiwanese internet celebrity, has accumulated more than 2.38 million followers because he met American streamer Kai Cenat, and is known as the strongest high school student. He recently revealed in the live broadcast that he would return to Taiwan to visit relatives and tidy up his hair in August, and revealed that he had the opportunity to visit China with NBA star Harden, but it was cancelled because he often criticized China, admitting that he would never be able to enter China. Ray has repeatedly criticized China in the film, and his remarks have sparked controversy. He now holds a US visa and focuses on his live broadcast career, but has also lost some of his sponsorship due to extreme remarks. News focus: 76-year-old veteran artist Li Binghui recently attended a charity concert at Taipei Rongzhong, although he acted in a wheelchair, but said that he usually does not rely on wheelchairs and cherishes every opportunity to go on stage. His wife recently had a foot injury and needed to be taken care of, and he went to Tamsui almost every day to sing as a street performer to supplement his family. Li Binghui admitted that due to the impact of the economy, performance invitations have decreased, and street income has been high and low, about 7,000 to 8,000 yuan a week, but he is quite satisfied with the current situation and thanks Zhang Hui and other nobles for their continued care and support. News focus: the report pointed out that in order to reduce the temporary tariffs of the United States by 20%, President Lai Ching-te personally invited Taiwanese heavyweight companies to the official residence for secret talks, hoping to obtain tariff reductions and exemptions through large-scale investment in the United States, and called on business groups to show sincerity. However, Aide's clear response that no official assistance from Taiwan is required caused Taiwan's plan to collapse in an instant. The United States asked Taiwan to commit huge investments like Japan and South Korea, but TSMC's investment of $165 billion is still insufficient. Analysts pointed out that the United States is concerned about the control of core technology and may require TSMC to hand over advanced process technology, which will seriously affect Taiwan's information and communication industry if accepted. News focus: the latest research shows that older adults who eat eggs at least once a week have a 47% lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. Rush University in the United States tracked 1,024 elderly people with an average age of 81 and found that frequent egg eaters had less accumulation of toxic proteins such as beta amyloid and tau protein in their brains, which helped protect nerve cells. Experts point out that choline is rich in eggs, which is an important nutrient for maintaining memory and learning, and egg yolks contain omega-3 fatty acids, which help brain health. Cholesterol concerns are too conservative, and saturated fatty acids are actually the main cause of cholesterol rise. News focus: founded in 1976, Sun Dong Bao, the ancestor of Taiwanese affordable steak, is famous for its sizzling steaks, bursting meal kits and corn soup, and has more than 30 franchise stores north of Hsinchu in its heyday. Affected by the epidemic and market competition, it was temporarily closed in 2012, and in 2017 it was acquired by Lin Shiken, chairman of the aristocratic family, and made a comeback. The aristocratic family has a complete meat supply chain, strengthens its food safety advantages, and positions Sun Dong Bao as an upgraded version of affordable steak. Recently, Sun Dong Bao's stores have shrunk from 130 to 94, and some stores have been transformed into Noble Family Mini or upgraded to Sun Dong Bao Plus, meeting new challenges with a small square footage strategy and diversified dishes, and striving to create glory again. News focus: the beginning of autumn solar term brings a new atmosphere of wealth, and numerologist Yunwei named the 3 constellations with the most prosperous fortune. Sagittarius has strong financial luck in other places, suitable for cross-regional investment and overseas cooperation, and noble people help diversify income. Taurus is growing steadily, improving financial management ability, increasing job and salary increase opportunities, and having a solid wealth foundation, Pisces is prosperous with both wealth, intuitive and sensitive to bring unexpected wealth, flexible financial management and development potential. These three zodiac signs are at the peak of financial luck on the day of the beginning of autumn, and it is suitable to actively seize the opportunity to welcome the harvest moment. News focus: Typhoon Dinas hit Tainan hard in early July, and dozens of power poles still collapsed in the saltwater area in the past month, resulting in unstable mobile phone signals, and hundreds of households in Baimen district were unable to watch TV, causing residents' lives to be troubled. Local residents have repeatedly reported seeking help from Chunghwa Telecom, but the progress of the restoration has been slow. Chunghwa Telecom said it had put into emergency repairs, which were originally scheduled to be completed on August 6, but due to delays in rain for several days, it is expected to be fully restored from August 15 to 20, and promised to take advantage of the good weather to speed up the repair, hoping to return life in the disaster area to normal as soon as possible. News focus: the incidence of colorectal cancer in Taiwan continues to rise, and there is a trend of younger, and gastroenterologist and hepatobiliary physician Qian Zhenghong pointed out that in addition to risk factors such as high sugar diet, smoking, and drinking, vitamin D deficiency is also associated with the risk of colorectal cancer. The number of patients under the age of 50 is gradually increasing, which is related to poor diet and lifestyle in adolescents, especially in women. Sweets and sugary drinks promote the growth of cancer cells, and insulin resistance and increased blood sugar also contribute to lesions. Qian Zhenghong reminded that moderate sunlight and a balanced diet can supplement vitamin D to avoid deficiency caused by excessive sun protection and reduce the risk of colorectal cancer. News focus: the Legislative Yuan passed an amendment to the excise tax ordinance on the 5th, stipulating that sugar-free drinks are exempt from 15% excise tax, because the originally packaged sugar-free drinks are classified as other beverages and are taxable. In addition, the four major appliances of televisions, video recorders, record players, and tape recorders have also been exempted from excise tax because they have become household necessities and have a tax revenue of less than 100 million yuan. The amendment aims to reduce the burden of consumption and encourage healthy eating and rational use of household appliances. News focus: in the original life case of Feng Yuan in Taichung, Zhang Zizi, the owner of Infinite Dream Brokerage Company, was killed by a man surnamed Huang with a sharp weapon in a convenience store. The suspect had a number of wanted records, and the prosecutors found that the suspect was in the same car as a man in black on the day of the incident, and the suspect drove away after the murder, and the man in black walked 200 meters to escape by taxi, and the suspected accomplice or mastermind is still being investigated. The suspect claimed that he wanted to teach his girlfriend a lesson because Zhang Zizi sexually harassed him, but Xiaoxiu, a former employee who had previously sued him, denied knowing the suspect and said that the compensation had been completed in July. The judge found that the suspect was involved in a felony and was at risk of fleeing and colluding to confess, and ruled that he was detained, and the procuratorate and police continued to investigate the truth of the case. News focus: the host of the program, Wang Ruyan, recently shared in the community that she mistakenly bought shoes on the internet by counterfeit the Converse official website, and found that the color did not match seriously after receiving the goods. This article sparked heated discussions among netizens, with many saying that the fake website was exquisitely designed and difficult to identify, and reminded many international brands that there is no official website in Taiwan, and fake fraud is rampant. Taiwanese sports brand distributor Mormonton also issued a warning, calling on consumers to purchase through official channels to protect their rights and avoid being deceived. News focus: heavy rains in Kaohsiung's Liaogui district for several days have led to soil and rock washing, causing many houses in Songzingli to be flooded with a large amount of soil and rocks, and even blocking windows, and residents are miserable. Residents who have lived for more than 60 years said that imperfect flood control projects have led to the accumulation of sediment and serious threats to property and life safety. Fortunately, the villagers evacuated early and there were no casualties. The village chief pointed out that about 60 households on the left bank and more than 10 households on the right bank were affected. From August 1 to 4, the accumulated rainfall reached 1,094 mm, and relevant units have sent strange hands to clean up falling rocks and help residents rebuild their homes. News focus: Japanese media reported that TSMC recently fired a number of employees suspected of illegally obtaining sensitive information about the 2nm advanced process and has launched legal action. According to people familiar with the matter, the employees involved in the case attempted to illegally obtain key technical details. TSMC said that through routine monitoring, unauthorized behavior was discovered, suspected of involving the leakage of trade secrets, and has severely punished relevant personnel and initiated legal proceedings. 2nm technology is expected to be mass-produced this year, which is the world's most advanced process, and has also attracted great attention from the national security level. News focus: NVIDIA promotes the power revolution and announces 18 partners, including Delta and Light-On Technology. In response to the sharp increase in demand for AI computing power, NVIDIA has increased the output voltage of AI server chips from 54V to 800V to build a megawatt-level data center power infrastructure, which is expected to be launched in 2027. Delta's stock price broke through 600 yuan, reaching a high of 632 yuan, a record high. Lite-On also hit a swing high since September 2023, with intraday gains of more than 6% and 7% respectively, becoming the focus of the market. News Focus analysts at a number of large banks on Wall Street warned of a possible short-term correction in the stock market due to high stock valuations and weakening economic data. Morgan Stanley predicts that the S&P 500 index will revise by up to 10% this quarter. Evercore estimates that it may fall by 15%, and Deutsche Bank also pointed out that the market has risen for more than 3 consecutive months and should be moderately pulled back. The market is worried about rising inflation, weak employment, and consumption in the United States, and August and September have historically been the weakest months for the stock market. The technical side shows that the S&P 500 Relative Strength Index has broken above 76, reflecting an overheated market. The cost of option hedging has risen. Experts recommend buying DIPs and still optimistic about AI-related stocks in the long term. News Focus: the bank loan restriction policy has led to many young people being blocked from taking out loans after buying pre-sale houses, and even facing the risk of default. A 37-year-old mother of 5 treasures, Xiaoyan, thought it would go smoothly when she bought a house in Dawen, but because the loan ratio dropped from 80% to 70%, she had to make up for the gap of 1 million yuan, and the builder was unwilling to help, putting her in trouble. Experts pointed out that although the housing market is sluggish, bank real estate lending is still high, the loan problem continues, and the termination of pre-sale houses is frequent. It is recommended that home buyers prepare sufficient self-prepared funds, evaluate loan conditions in advance, and negotiate with builders to delay the delivery of the house or seek corporate loans to reduce the risk of default. The government should adjust its policies to avoid overwhelming the people in need. News Focus: on June 26 this year, after the 36th issue of the Power Lottery, a 40-year-old married man in the manufacturing industry who lived in Taichung won the lottery with a 1,600 yuan package bet, and won the jackpot of 1.753 billion yuan. The man used the 800 plus 800 method to select some numbers and select some numbers, and also took away 7 bets and 2 prizes, with a total prize of 1.753 billion yuan. The winning lottery ticket is issued by the Lottery Bank on Minsheng Road in the West District. The winner happily received the prize with his 70-year-old father, and planned to manage his finances in installments, donating 30 million yuan to charity, and also giving red envelopes to thank the betting station. News Focus: Xiaoyan BNB recently seized 13 college students in the central and northern regions aged 19 to 23 who held drug parties during their stay, smoked ketamine, and possessed K-discs and other evidence. After receiving the tip, the Donggang Police Branch braved the strong wind and waves to cross the sea to investigate, brought the person involved back for investigation, and transferred it to the Pingtung County government in accordance with the Drug Hazard Prevention and Control regulations. The police stressed that Xiaoyan is a tourist destination, strictly prevent drugs from damaging the environment, and called on the public to cherish the local ecology and resources, and not to test the law, otherwise they will face legal sanctions. News Focus: Honha's self-developed traditional Chinese large language model FoxBrain was open source at the end of July and has become the core brain of Honha's 3 major platforms: intelligent manufacturing, smart electric vehicles and smart cities. The model incorporates Taiwanese context and manufacturing expertise to enhance industrial application efficiency, especially for factory automation in the United States, which can quickly adapt to diverse tasks. FoxBrain will also be applied to the AI nursing collaborative robot NeuRobot to be unveiled in 2025. Supporting Chinese voice interaction and medical logistics. Honha is developing a multimodal VLA model that combines vision, language, and action to break through the bottleneck of robot entities, accelerate the development of intelligent manufacturing and AI automation, and cooperate with partners such as NVIDIA and Kawasaki Heavy Industries to lay out the global market. News Focus: President Lai Ching-te delivered the opening speech at the Ketagalan Forum, 2025 Indo-Pacific Security Dialogue, emphasizing that the defense budget will reach more than 3% of GDP next year and enhance Taiwan's self-defense capabilities. He pointed out that this year's forum focuses on Indo-Pacific security, democratic defense strategies, and economic, scientific and technological diplomacy, which are closely related to Taiwan's national development. Lai Ching-te said that in the face of the Russia-Ukraine war, the conflict in the Middle East and China's military pressure, democratic countries must unite to defend the value of freedom, and Taiwan, as an important fulcrum of the first island chain, actively promotes the 4 pillars of peace and strengthens the defense resilience of the whole society. We will continue to deepen cooperation with democratic partners, promote economic security and industrial upgrading, and safeguard regional and global peace and stability. News Focus: Liao Jianzi, Director of the General Affairs Department of the Legislative Yuan, sparked controversy over whether he violated the Code of Integrity and Ethics due to a meal with Swire Motors, an agent of Chinese electric vehicles bid. The media reported that the meal involved senior officials and staff of the Legislative Yuan, questioning whether it was appropriate for Liao Jianzi to accept hospitality as a civil servant, and that it might be illegal if he did not report it. Liao Jianzi responded that the meal was a temporary invitation from a friend, and the object had no business dealings and did not violate the integrity norms of civil servants, emphasizing his innocence and not being slandered. The case continues to attract attention. News Focus: a 12-day-old newborn developed rare symptoms such as darkening of his face after infection, and was diagnosed with mosquito bites after testing. Pediatrician Wu Chongtang pointed out that Chugong's disease is transmitted by Aedes aegypti mosquitoes and Albopictus mosquitoes, and although infants and young children are rarely infected, the symptoms are often more severe, which may cause complications such as convulsions, liver failure, and even the need for liver replacement. Indian studies have shown that severe cases in children are often accompanied by rashes, epilepsy, and multiple organ failure. Wu reminded that although there is no specific drug, most of them can be cured, but you should be vigilant against abnormal symptoms and strengthen mosquito prevention. News Focus: Trump's latest tariffs will take effect on the 7th, involving nearly 70 countries, with tariffs ranging from 10% to 41%, and will push up the prices of a number of imported goods, including computers, electronics, clothing, watches, footwear and alcohol. Goldman Sachs assesses that consumers will feel the pressure on prices in about 8 months. Computer prices may rise by 18.2% in the short term, and clothing by 37.5% in the short term. In addition, EU wine spirits will face a 15% tariff, and Vietnamese furniture and toys prices will also be affected. Since manufacturers stock up in advance, the cost has not been fully passed on, and it is expected that the price increase will be gradually reflected. News Focus: the competition in Kaohsiung's lodging industry is fierce, and many 5-star hotels such as Huawang, Huayuan, and Qiaobin have turned off their lights after the epidemic. Recently, Kaohsiung Ritson Hotel was also sold to Xingfufa Construction for 1.45 billion yuan, and it is not ruled out that international brands will be introduced to take over in the future. Although Kaohsiung frequently hosts large-scale concerts and events to drive tourism, according to statistics from the Tourism Bureau, there are 372 local hotels with more than 20,000 rooms, and the market is oversupplied. The Kaohsiung Hotel Association pointed out that time-honored hotels can only choose to actively transform or exit, and international brands prefer to cooperate with new hotels, and the market is facing a reshuffle. News Focus: the Hsinchu County Environmental Protection Bureau promotes the e-notification system for regular motorcycle inspections, replacing paper notifications with text messages, and car owners can scan the official QR code or log into the designated website to log into their mobile phone number to avoid overdue penalties. The system is only used to send regular inspection reminders and implement information security protection, and do not need to provide sensitive information such as ID cards and account numbers. The air pollution law stipulates that locomotives must be inspected after 5 years, and a fine of 500 yuan will be imposed if they are overdue, and a fine of 3,000 yuan will be imposed if they are not inspected for 6 months, and even the license will be cancelled. News Focus: Hyundai Nanyang announced that the purchase of the 2024 Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6 EV400 models in August can enjoy a cash discount of 300,000 yuan, and the price will be reduced to 1.299 million yuan. The 2025 new car will receive an upgrade gift worth 100,000 yuan, including thermal insulation paper, V2L external power supply, U-Power unlimited high-speed charging for a year, and the original boutique group. An Ioniq 5 will give a double air mattress. The Ioniq family adopts eGMP platform and 800V fast charging, which can be charged from 10% to 80% in 18 minutes, and has V2L power supply and SmartSense driving assistance functions. News Focus: US President Trump set Taiwan's tariffs at 20%, President Lai Ching-te called it temporary, and Taiwan and the United States are still negotiating. However, foreign media pointed out that the main reason for the deadlock in the negotiations is that Taiwan's investment in the United States is much lower than that of Japan and South Korea. In addition to basic reciprocal tariffs, the U.S. Section 232 investigation may impose high tariffs on Taiwan's semiconductors again. Although TSMC has promised to invest $100 billion in the United States, it is still insufficient compared to the hundreds of billions of dollars in Japan and South Korea. Trump's repeated criticism of Taiwan's monopoly on the chip market shows that there is still a high degree of uncertainty in future Taiwan-US economic and trade relations and tariff negotiations. News Focus: doctors remind that habits such as eating dinner too late, sitting or lying down and swiping mobile phones after meals, and eating 3 hours before going to bed may increase the risk of stomach cancer by 7.4 times, especially those with a family history. Gastroesophageal reflux or Helicobacter pylori infection should pay special attention. It is recommended to have dinner no later than 8 o'clock. Take a walk for at least 10 minutes after meals, and avoid eating before bed. The National Health Administration calls for early screening and treatment, and to develop a healthy diet, quit smoking, alcohol, and betel nut, and seek medical attention immediately if you have symptoms to reduce the risk of stomach cancer. News Focus: Yao Benjun, a teacher of Zaiwei Dushu, pointed out that after the beginning of autumn this Thursday, 7th, the small consumption star moved into the Palace of Wealth, and the zodiac dog, tiger, rabbit, and horse may face a financial test. Dog people are prone to wealth and money, and must prevent advances in emotional consumption. Tigers may lose the opportunity to raise salaries and bonuses due to changes in the company's system, so they should seek stability first. Rabbits have a lot of favor expenditures, and must set a financial bottom line. Horses have a difficult income to survive, especially freelancers are vulnerable to cost and tax pressures, so their financial structure should be simplified to prevent financial loss. News Focus Big S died of pneumonia in February this year, and his ashes were buried in the Jinbeisan Rose Garden in March. Recently, a Taiwanese internet celebrity who had interacted with Zhonglan went to the Big S cemetery for a live broadcast and photographed the details of the tombstone, saying that he did not see Gu Junyi that day. This move caused fans to criticize it for rubbing its popularity and invading privacy, and reported it to Kuaishao and Douyin, but the account has not been blocked yet. Su Ziwan's family once emphasized that the location of the cemetery needs to be kept confidential, and after the incident was exposed, it caused controversy on the internet, and Zhonglan has not yet responded to the relationship and incident between the two parties. News Focus: the public toilet in Huladao, Liaoning, mainland China, needs to scan the code to pay for hand washing, and 0.3 yuan is charged every 15 seconds, and the faucet has no switch or induction device. The park calls it a water-saving measure and has been implemented for some time. The media found that the charging system comes from the Fun internet platform and has been applied in more than 70 scenic spots. The lawyer pointed out that this move restricts consumers' independent choice, is an unfair transaction, and may infringe on legitimate rights and interests. The park said it would reflect the demands of tourists to the management. News Focus: a riot broke out in Tuspan prison in Veracruz, Mexico, on the 3rd, due to the long-term extortion of prisoners and their families by the criminal organization Grupo Sombra, and the collective resistance of the prisoners caused a fire, resulting in 7 deaths and 11 injuries. Smoke filled the scene, many people were burned, the riot has been quelled, the injured were sent to the hospital for treatment, and the fire was extinguished. Tuspan prison is designed to hold 735 people, but the actual capacity is 778, which is over-detained. News Focus: in the face of international volatility and inflationary pressure, China CITIC Bank reminds investors to build financial resilience and accumulate assets steadily through long-termism and regular quota strategies. Novices can easily get started with a one-stop banking platform, while experienced investors can adjust their portfolios with diversified allocation and real-time analysis. The China CITIC Bank app integrates investment tools, exchange rate notifications and guarantee services to help users grasp investment opportunities and fluctuations and create the best financial defense line in the face of market changes.